The Avengers are not prepared for Halo's reality. One hero becomes a galactic god, another a catastrophic liability. The UNSC's darkest secret would break Captain America. Stick until the final reveal to see which Avenger dooms humanity. Before talking about where any character ranks, it's important to understand just how unhinged the Halo universe really is. This is a place where a war has devoured generations, where humanity once held more than 800 colonies and ended up clawing to survive on a few battered worlds. The Covenant isn't aiming for dominance. They want humanity erased from existence entirely, and the only justification they need is the word of their prophets. Behind that fanaticism lies the legacy of the Forerunners, an ancient race that built weapons capable of sterilizing galaxies and actually used them because the Flood was so horrifying that wiping out every living thing was considered the best available solution. In Halo's world, victory is rare, hope is fragile, and heroism doesn't guarantee survival. Entire fleets are erased in minutes. Planets burn like dry leaves, and the win condition is sometimes simply making sure the Flood doesn't get to consume everything that breathes. With that kind of backdrop, dropping the Hulk into this universe suddenly becomes a lot less straightforward. He's a walking apocalypse on ground level, strong enough to rip tanks apart, smash Covenant infantry like loose drywall, and probably even tear down a scarab if he got close. But getting close is exactly the problem, because the Covenant doesn't fight fair. They hover in orbit, miles above the reach of any punch he can throw, and rain down plasma fire until continents glow. Hulk can survive the flames, but survival isn't the same as victory. He'd be trapped on a dead world shouting at ships he can never reach. And if the Flood ever managed to infect him, his regenerative biology would turn him into their ultimate prize, creating a nightmare organism strong enough to shred everything in its path. Hulk isn't weak in Halo, but Halo is a universe where raw strength isn't enough. Iron Man, on the other hand, would thrive in ways even he couldn't predict. Tony Stark's genius would be the single biggest technological leap the UNSC has ever seen. While humanity is constantly on the back foot technologically, Tony would immediately begin dissecting and upgrading everything around him. Covenant shield systems, plasma, weaponry, propulsion tech, he'd break them open, improve them, and rebuild them into forms humanity never even imagined. Forerunner technology would either terrify him or inspire him, but either way, he'd unlock breakthroughs that could reshape the entire war effort. The UNSC's biggest failures often come from slow coordination and outdated systems, issues that Tony would crush within months. He'd effectively become the architect of a new era, working alongside Halsey to create hybrid technology powerful enough to shift the balance of the war. His curiosity might get him unalived or driven insane, but if anyone can dance with ancient cosmic machines and come out stronger, it's Stark. Captain America's situation is the opposite. Steve Rogers represents the pinnacle of human physical potential, but Halo's definition of pinnacle is wildly different. Unaugmented soldiers are expendable, ODSTs are tough but still vulnerable, and Spartans operate on a level Steve simply can't match. His body, while formidable, doesn't let him sprint at 60 miles per hour or lift tanks with casual ease. Worse, his moral code would constantly collide with UNSC leadership, a military machine that's made unforgivable decisions out of desperation. He abducted children for the Spartan program, scorched entire colonies to slow Covenant advances, and sacrificed civilians without hesitation. Steve's determination to protect every innocent life would be admirable, but completely incompatible with a war that humanity is losing on every front. His shield would hold up against plasma fire, but one man with a shield can't outfight thousands of technologically superior enemies backed by orbital artillery. He'd remain a symbol of hope, but the scale of Halo's losses might break his spirit long before his shield breaks. Thor fits into this universe as if he was born for it. The Covenant's religious fervor, their devotion to Forerunners they treat as divine, would be shattered the moment Thor arrives swinging a hammer capable of calling storms that tear battleships apart. Unlike Hulk, Thor can actually reach the fleets hanging in orbit. He can fly straight into the void, crash through hull plating, overload energy systems with lightning, and destroy ships from the inside out. His centuries of combat experience would earn immediate respect from Sangheili warriors, who value strength and honor above all else. Some Covenant species might even start worshipping him, which would unravel their ideological unity faster than any human strategy ever could. The only real threats to him would be Flood biomass overwhelming his physical form or ancient Forerunner constructs designed to challenge beings of his scale. But even then, Thor is built for cosmic warfare in a way very few characters are. Hawkeye would struggle simply because his skill set is spectacular in the wrong kind of world. Clint Barton is a master marksman, a tactician, and a reliable operative, but Halo's battles are fought with plasma weapons, energy shields, walking tanks, and creatures that shrug off bullets like raindrops. A bow, even with trick arrows, is functionally obsolete here. He'd survive in stealth operations or behind enemy lines with small recon teams, but large-scale combat would overwhelm him. Eventually, the UNSC would hand him a modern sniper weapon and tell him to leave the bow behind, which essentially undermines the entire reason his character stands out. He'd contribute, but he'd constantly be operating on borrowed time and borrowed tech. Black Widow finds a much more comfortable niche. Natasha Romanoff is trained for espionage, infiltration, psychological manipulation, and shadow warfare. All of those skills are priceless in a universe filled with fractured alien species, political tensions, and military hierarchies that can be exploited. Onai, the UNSC's intelligence organization, would consider her a once-in-a-lifetime asset. She could sneak aboard ships, plant combustive materials, eliminate high-ranking officials, steal intel, and disappear without a trace. She's used to fighting enemies with far superior technology and resources, making the Halo universe radical but familiar in the ways that matter most. Her adaptability keeps her alive even when the scale of the war dwarfs anything she's experienced. Ant-Man survives for entirely different reasons. Scott Lang's shrinking technology is a nightmare for Covenant engineers and security system. He can infiltrate any ship, sabotage critical components, steal data without detection, and escape with ease. He's practically a one-man intelligence army. The tactical possibilities of PIM particles would blow the UNSC's mind. Shrink supply convoys to smuggle them through blockades, shrink troops for stealth insertions, expand equipment instantly on the battlefield. The applications are endless. Scott's only weakness is the suit. Without it, he's just a guy in a war where just a guy doesn't survive long. But with it, he's invaluable. Hope Van Dyne stands even stronger in this universe because she combines shrinking tech with combat training and flight. She's a soldier where Scott is a thief, and her bioelectric blast could fry Covenant shields, disrupt vehicles, or disable pilots before anyone notices she was there. She could single-handedly dismantle Covenant strike teams, infiltrate ships, and execute high-speed reconnaissance missions. Her unpredictability alone would unnerve the Covenant, who have no frame of reference for enemies that can become invisible-sized death machines. Doctor Strange brings a different kind of overwhelming power. His magic bends the rules of space, time, physics, and probability rules the UNSC has no tools to manipulate. With portals alone, he could turn the war on its head, teleporting Spartans across the galaxy or evacuating entire colonies moments before they're glassed. Time manipulation would allow humanity to analyze battles frame by frame, predict enemy strategies, and rewrite catastrophic losses. The Halo universe is riddled with ancient, incomprehensible mysteries, the kind Strange has spent his life confronting. He might be the only being capable of understanding Forerunner constructs or the true nature of the Flood. But his power fluctuates depending on his mental state, resources, and the cosmic forces around him. One miscalculation inside a Forerunner ruin could unleash something unspeakable. Even so, Strange is one of the few individuals capable of reshaping the fate of the entire galaxy. Scarlet Witch, however, represents a force even the Forerunners might have feared. Wanda Maximoff's ability to twist reality and manipulate minds makes her a living extinction event. The Covenant's technology, armor, and ships mean nothing if she decides they shouldn't. She could dismantle fleets with a thought, cause weapons to malfunction universally, or alter the laws of physics around entire battle groups. Her powers could even fracture the Covenant's religious unity by pushing doubts, visions, or panic into the minds of their leaders. But Wanda is also dangerously unstable. The UNSC's long history of AI rampancy and rogue super soldiers would make her the ultimate red flag. If she suffered another mental break in the middle of a galactic war, she could accidentally wipe out star systems or rewrite reality in ways no one could undo. She's the most powerful and the most terrifying wildcard in the entire scenario. Vision stands in a strange in-between place. He's nearly untouchable thanks to his ability to phase through matter and shrug off plasma fire. He could dismantle Covenant ships from the inside, gather intelligence at impossible speeds, and provide real-time tactical analysis that surpasses even the smartest human-made AI. But because he's an artificial intelligence with emotions, the UNSC would immediately see him as a potential threat. Their fear of rampancy would lead to attempts to control him, restrict him, or even dismantle him. He'd survive almost any physical encounter, but politically and socially, he'd constantly be at risk of becoming an asset. Oni wants to understand or neutralize rather than a person they trust. When it's all said and done, the Halo universe doesn't care how impressive a hero is back on Earth. Here, gods can burn, geniuses can ascend, and ordinary humans can be erased before they know what hit them. Even the Avengers would have to learn quickly that in a galaxy where planets are casually turned to glass, being a hero doesn't guarantee a happy ending. It only guarantees that you'll be tested on a scale far beyond anything they've faced before. Rank the Avengers from first to fall to last one standing. Tell me your order in the comments. Explain why Thor survives, or why Stark changes everything. Follow for more universe crossovers,